Hari Om. Start with the prayer. Om Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Tvameva Mata Cha Pitattvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakhatvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Amadeva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Gurudeva Deva. Hari Om. We are doing the Vedanta question and answers, and one question that was posed is, what causes fear in us? So exactly what is the cause for fear? A lot of people are afraid, I'm afraid of this, I'm afraid of this, I'm afraid of this. What is that fear, source of fear, and what is the cause for the fear? The fear comes because of unknown. Since I don't know what's going to happen, I'm afraid of it may be this, it may be that, and if it is this, I'm afraid the consequence will be more, and all that, so on and so forth. In fact, we experienced recently, because we don't know the flight will be there, because a lot of cancellations and all that, so we don't want to get stuck and we are afraid what is going to happen. So fear of unknown is always a problem, and until that unknown becomes a known, the fear will continue. Depending upon the consequence of that, the fear also goes up. This is we are all experienced that. And what is unknown, and the Vedanta says, in fact, Krishna says, I have only choice in action, but not in the results. Karmani eva adhikaraste ma paleshu kadachana, never in the results. Thus, therefore, I perform an action expecting some results, but results may not come the way I want it. So I'm afraid what's going to be the result, even though I perform the action. So the question is, what should I do? He says, do your part, your best, and leave the rest. That's what the philosophy is. And that requires a discipline of the mind. And that's what essentially the whole Gita starts about, in terms of how a yoga helps in terms of preparing the mind to face the consequence of what is going to happen. But fear comes in principle because not only when I perform the action, the results do not depend upon me, it depends upon the Lord, Ishvara. So is Ishvara going to favor me or not favor me? So if I am a Bhakta, Ishvara is going to favor. If I am not a Bhakta, atheist, Ishvara is not going to favor. If I have that problem, then Ishvara assures, Samoham sarvabhuteshu namidvishosti napriyaha. Ye bhajanti tamiyamam. So, samoham sarvabhutishu, I am equal to everybody. Just because you pray and beat a lot of coconuts in the temple does not mean that I am going to favor you. And you continuously pray every day I am not going to favor you. But does prayer help or not? That's a separate question. But Ishvara doesn't bend himself just because of something. He is called the samatvam. His equanimity is there. That's why he is in Ishvara. So therefore, why should I then go to temple? You don't need to go to temple, but going to temple and pray helps you to prepare your mind to act properly. That's all. So that you are not afraid of the future, you act as though you do your part the best. That helps in terms of karma yoga. But from the point of the fear wise, you have no control on the future, but Ishvara assures that he is impartial. The results are come by the laws of nature, where your input is taken into consideration, which is the predominant factor, but other factors beyond your control also come into picture, and that's the part of the system. So I work for promotion, but other fellow is also working for promotion. There's only one seat there, so not that everybody is going to give. So it depends upon so many other factors beyond my control who is going to get the results. So I get the favorable result. But what I have in control, I should do my part. That comes under part of the Karma Yoga. But the essence of Vedanta says, in principle, fear comes from the second. So fear comes from the second means what? Dvitiyadvo bhayam bhavati. So I have no fear if there is nobody there. So is it true? That's our experience when we go from waking state to dream state to disbelief state. When you go to disbelief state, I am there is nobody else. only subject, and there is not even a mind for me to observe. Mind itself is folded, but I am all alone. Therefore, there is no space, there is no time, there is no future, there is no past, there is no present. Therefore, nothing to be afraid of, and everybody wants to sleep, particularly. So, in particular, they take even pills also in order to get to deep sleep state, because that is an Advaitic state where there is non-duality, and in fact the Lord has provided an experience of Advaita to know that that alone is the reality, because that's alone you are free from. That's why scripture says, Ditiya Advayo Bhayam Bhavati, any second causes problem. If there is a duality, then there is a problem. So moksha has to be Advaita. Because if I go to somewhere else for moksha, Vaikunta, Kailasa, or heaven up in the sky, there are other people are there, then there is a fear, because I want it and he also wants it. So in front of Lord Vishnu, there are other people waiting there in front of, before you, and therefore you are blocked by so many people also. So there are some people closer to Vishnu, some people are not closer to Vishnu. So there also you have comparison and jealousies and all that, because there is just two people, second people. So this kind of the moksha is still, there is a problem there, and scripture is very clear. Udara mantaram kuruti adatasya bhayam bhavati. Any speck of difference causes a fear. So the scripture is pointing out, as well as the experience also indicates, that it's only Advaitic state where there is no fear. But once I understood I am that, then the fear can be played as a drama of life. So essentially, this is Dukkeshu Anudvignamanaha Sukheshu Vigataspraha Vitaraga Bhayakrodaha Sitadhir Muniruchyate. Krishna says, who is a wise person? Wise person, he doesn't get depressed when there is a suffering comes, or Dukkeshu Anudvignamanaha Sukheshu Vigataspraha, or get excited when something good happens, and Vitaraga Bhayakrodaha, all he doesn't have any, there are attachments, and bhayam, krodham, fear and anger, all are transcended. He may act like it, because it's an action of the drama, just like an actor independent of what's happening on the drama scene. That's what is a wise man. And we can be a wise person knowing very well it's only drama. With that we stop. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om.